Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome inside the Canlan Arenas here in North York, Ontario. A little bit of a different setup for me here this evening, as there really was no good gallery down inside the arena that gave me what we needed to look at. So I decided to take residence up here behind the plexiglass, and I'm actually kind of glad that I'm actually warm, but up in the plexiglass and looking at it from this vantage point this evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cheryl Gilroy, along with my partner tonight, my daughter, Faith Gilroy. Faith, thank you so much for joining me here this evening, and she gives you guys a wave. This is Game 8 of the regular season for the Barrie Junior Sharks. If you were with us last Sunday, you'll remember that fabulous, absolutely thrilling overtime win for the Barrie Sharks last Sunday evening against the Durham West Junior Lightning. They were outshot 31-26, but they still managed to get the game winner in overtime, and that goal coming from a call-up, Ella Sabarin. It was awesome having her. Tonight against the North York Junior Storm, this is their 5th game of the regular season. They're coming off a 9-0 loss on September the 24th against the Etobicoke Junior Dolphins. They haven't had the startup that they wanted this season so far. They're 1-3, and they're currently sitting 20th in the rankings. Barrie, on the other hand, is 6-1, and that one with that one loss happening against the Whitby Wolves last Friday, currently sits them in 2nd place, right behind the Etobicoke Junior Dolphins. On tap coming this weekend, the Junior Sharks are at home for 2 games on Friday and Sunday. The Friday night game, they are going to be hosting the OHA Mavericks. That's their 2nd and final matchup with the Mavericks this season. That'll be an 8 p.m. start at the Shark Tank. And then there'll be another game on Sunday afternoon where they will host, I believe, the Stony Creek Sabres that evening. Other games happening around the league. Etobicoke is visiting Stony Creek Sabres tonight, and Burlington is visiting the Central York Junior Panthers, and that is the Central York Junior Panthers' first home game of the season. Zamboni is off the ice, and the players are about to step to the ice. And then there'll be 5 minutes of warm-up, and then we'll get set for player introductions and the starting lineup. Now, I'm not inside the rink, but I do have the rosters in front of me, so I'll definitely be taking note of the jersey numbers, which I'm happy to say are fairly easy to read up here, including the black ones. The Durham West Lightning jerseys that they wore last season made it a little hard to see the numbers, but the same black here for the North York Junior Storm are much easier to read, as they have white numbers on the back of their jerseys. So stand by, warm-up is underway, and we'll get set here for game time. Take the graphic off, Faith. Great, just checking to make sure. That is our vantage point for this evening. 4.5 minutes left in warm-up. Can't tell you, I'm really excited about this coming season with the Barrie Junior Sharks looking to capitalize on a lot of incoming talent. Now, we do have some ladies out of the lineup this evening. Number 15, Gabby Willard, is a scratch tonight. Number 9, Maine Severn, is a scratch. And number 55, Kaya Harbeck, is a scratch. Joining us this evening is Grace Cusick. She's always a welcome addition on the defense. She will be wearing number 66 tonight. On the forward line is number 16, Ariana Pellerin, and number 88, Tegan Gloins. And Tegan Gloins joined us last Sunday for that game against Durham West. Ariana Pellerin is the first time I've seen her, so we'll see how she fares in the lineup tonight. The starting lineup for the Barrie Junior Sharks, starting in net this evening, is number 58, Riley Maxwell, with a record of 2-1. She was in net for that loss against the Whitby Junior Wolves last Friday. On defense, number 72, Annabella Cosgrave, and number 77, Adrielle Charette. And I'm very happy to see Adrielle back in the lineup after she suffered that pinched nerve last Friday night. On the forward line, number 7, Simone Swanson, number 17, Sam Lormond, and number 91, El De Silva. I do not have a lineup for the North York Junior Storm. I don't know who's going to be starting in that. And this is the first time I've seen them this season, so I'm still getting used to that lineup. A couple of familiar names and a few new ones. Both goaltenders I've never seen before, so this should be an interesting matchup. Once again, the North York Junior Stormer have a record of 1-3. They're currently sitting in 20th place out of 25. Now, this is the first season that all 25 teams in U22 Elite are playing in one single division as opposed to 2 separate divisions, the red and the blue division. So if I understand that correctly, they will play each other twice once at home and once away. It does increase the workload a little bit, but that makes it much more even fair against, for both teams as they, or for both everybody's matchup. So they play each other at least twice, once in their home rink and once in the away rink. Happy to note, too, that with the Barrie Junior Sharks, it's the first time at the beginning of the season that we have 12 postseason commitments. It's the most I've seen. In fact, 3 ladies will be joining each other at St. Lawrence. And all at the same time. They'll be graduating in 26 and heading to St. Lawrence at the same time. We have 2 postseason commitments for Harvard. That will be Kathleen Dion and Kate Stewart. Going to Harvard at the same time. And the 3 people who will be going to St. Lawrence, it's May Severn, Sonia Mehta, where's that third one, and Jenny Keller. Happy to have Jenny Keller back in the lineup as she was out last weekend out west. I believe she was on Team Alberta last weekend, so we're happy to have her back in the lineup. She does sit second in points with 4 goals and 1 assist. Top of the points right now is number 6, Sadie France. She's got 2 goals and 4 assists. And Sam Larmond in third place with 2 goals and 3 assists. Lots of girls have gotten points so far. We just have, let's see, 1, 2, I think it's only 2 Sharks remaining who haven't got a point yet in the season. So we hope we see that change tonight. Just over a minute left in warm up. And then we'll get set for the national anthem. Once again, my name is Sheila Gilroy, along with my daughter, Faith Gilroy. Thank you for joining the live stream this evening, such as it is. It's not the best vantage point, but I'm going to give you as best description as I can of the events as they unfold this evening. The Sharks do have a great start to the season with 6 wins and 1 loss, so very excited to see what these Sharks do this season. 45 seconds remaining in warm-up. Stand by, ladies and gentlemen. There'll be quite the difference in ambient noise as we are sitting up here in the restaurant behind the plexiglass. So no music, no loud music, no loud ambient noise, and nothing to drown me out. Which would be quite the switch. Usually I'm trying to talk over a lot of the noise that's going on in the rink. So this is a nice change. I'm actually sitting down at a desk with all my notes in front of me too. So this is a bit of a happier environment. I'm actually warm up here too. So I'm actually not in the rink suffering the cold, even though I did come prepared for that. All right, 20 minutes on the clock and then we'll get set for game action. Once again, thanks for joining the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. Stand by. Everyone with their powwows around the net. I can actually hear the Sharks yelling from here. Can you hear that too, Faith? Yeah. Quite the great bunch of girls on the team this year. Already gelling, connecting. Even the rookie line, they've been connecting and scoring goals. So it's awesome to watch, and the 2 goaltenders are just butted heads. So awesome. North York is still around their net here, and then we'll get set for the player introductions. Let me know if my head gets in the way, okay, Faith? I don't want to block the action. Okay. They usually start with the away team first. So once again, starting for the Barrie Junior Sharks in net, number 58, Riley Maxwell. On defense, number 72, Annabella Cosgrave, and number 77, Adriel Charette. They're calling their names now. On forward, number 7, Simone Swanson, number 17, Sam Larmond, and number 91, El De Silva. There's Annabella Cosgrave. And then, of course, Riley Maxwell, and the rest of the Barrie Junior Sharks. Starting lineup here for the North York Storm. Number 22, Michaela Dunn. Number 71, Jade McNichol. Number 12, Ava Shafaro Ianaso. And on the defense, number 4, Peyton Barrie. And number 15, Cara Hartel, and starting in net, number 31, Veronica Mancini. Now the national anthem, which of course we can't hear, but you folks by all means stand up, take your hats off, and sing for yourselves. Do you want to sing, Faith? No, you don't want to sing? Okay. With the pounding of the sticks, I assume that the national anthem is completed, and we'll get set here for our face-off. Just a reminder, the next game for the Barrie Sharks is Friday night, as they're back at home in the Shark Tank at 8 o'clock. Visiting them on Friday is the OHA Mavericks. All right, Faith, you all set? Cool. Don't forget to hit that button when the clock starts. Yep. Very important that be accurate. All right, starting in the face-off dot, it looks like it's going to be Sam Larmont versus Michaela Dunn for the North York Junior Storm. We are set to go. Faith, you all set? Hit the button. We're set to go. Game is underway here. North York does gather that puck first and send it into the Sharks' end. They're going to backtrack. Riley Maxwell is going to gather that puck and leave it for Annabella Cosgrave, who carries the puck out herself into the neutral zone. She'll pass up in front to Sam Larmont. She'll carry it in and get her first chance. No, she won't. She'll bring it behind the goal line, bring it around the boards. Guess I'm going to have to stand up to catch that corner. Dunn trying to get it out for the North York Storm, and the puck will escape and get as far as the red line. Shark defense sending it right back up. El Da Silva can't handle the pass, sends it back. Cara Hurdle sends it into the Sharks' end as the Sharks try to clear it out right in front of their own bench. The puck will come and go the distance. Will it be enough for icing? No, it won't. Kate Stewart finds that puck behind the goal line, just can't get it out in front for her teammates. Now it's out in front, backhand for Sadie France. Can she get a handle on that and get a shot in? No, she can't. Puck bouncing, and Halliday is going to skate away with that for the North York Storm. In comes Dunn. She'll try to cut to center, and Riley Maxwell will get her first save of the game. Puck coming back the other way. North York defense sends it forward. Back to the red line for North York, and back in play in the Sharks' end. Grace Cusick can't get rid of it. North York does get a shot in on Riley Maxwell, but it goes wide. Now it comes back out to the neutral zone. Here's Abby Brumwell trying to slide it over for Teo Wallace. Got too many black sweaters around her. Puck will go up and down, and it will go out of play, and we'll have our first stoppage in play with 18-19 remaining here in the first period. Great action so far. Back and forth at each end. Mancini's touched the puck once, and Riley Maxwell's touched it a couple of times. Face off here to the right of Mancini. Puck sits there for a second. Storm trying to clear it out. Mally Winters now on the case, along with Teo Wallace behind the goal line. Out in front of the far side boards. Emily Wallace is going to send it forward for the North York Storm. Just inside the blue line on the Sharks' end, it comes out to neutral, all the way down to the goal line. And Mancini's going to cover that one up for a face-off. I'll have to keep my number straight. 66 is the number that Grace Cusick is wearing tonight instead of her regular 88. 16 is being worn by Ariana Pellerin, and 88 tonight is being worn by Tegan Gloin, so I'll have to keep that straight. Gloins is in for the face-off for the Barrie Sharks. They hold on to that puck and send it around the boards. Barrie for North York gets it out in front and tries to pull it off the boards. It comes into the slot area. Ianasso sends it out all the way down. Maxwell finds that just outside of her crease. Pellerin trying to hold on and shovel it out from underneath against the boards. Pinned up against there is Larmond as well. No, it's Simone Swanson. Still working at it in the far side corner. Gloins trying to send it out, and that's going to be a stoppage in play, and that is going to be a penalty call. It's going to be interference. First penalty of the game is going to go to the Barrie Sharks, and I believe it's Annabella Cosgrave. Call interference. So North York is going to get their first chance at a power play. Sharks' penalty kill has actually been quite good. Let's see how they do tonight. North York does pick up the puck after the face-off. They'll pass it around in front of that blue line. Making a turn is Larissa Mayer, sending it forward, and Maxwell with the save. Face off to the right of Riley Maxwell. Mayer has it in the slot, fires it in, and it bounces off the post and in, and North York will get a power play goal here to start the game. Not even 5 minutes into the first period. Larissa Mayer did shoot that from the blue line. I believe she got all of it. 1-0 North York Storm. Power play goal from Larissa Mayer. Larissa Mayer seems to be wearing the C, so she is the captain of the North York Storm. What a way to lead by example. So the Sharks find themselves down 1-0 here in the early going of the first period, but they are a come-from-behind team if they've done 3 games already this season. Keller with the shot in. Deflected by Mancini, not in. Sharks try to get it out in front. Kate Stewart trying to hold on to that puck into the corner and get it into the slot. Out to Dion at the blue line. She sends it in, but just wide of that goal post. North York clears it. All the way back into the Sharks' end. Off the boards. North York pulls it up behind the goal line, and DaCosta sends it forward. All the way out into the neutral zone where it's being chased by Olivia Letty. Letty tries to hold on to that puck, and she can't. Piper 7 gets to it first. Battle behind Maxwell. Out in front. Too far. So it's going to go the distance. Will it be enough for icing? No, it won't. North York gets to it first. This is Wong for North York, sending it out in front. Finds Wallace, and she hands it off to Letty. Letty dumps it down into the corner, where Kusick tries to get a hold of it and clear it out. North York still keeping it down into the Sharks' end. Apologize for the ambient noise. There is a game being played here behind us. In comes Teo Wallace. Weaves around the black sweaters and still manages to hold on to that puck. Mally Winter sending it back to the defense. Defense sends it through. Easy save for Mancini. Tegan Gloins trying to pull it out from the near side corner to the right of Mancini. And the North York Storm will skate away with it, but they're being hampered by Tegan Gloins. It'll go the distance, and North York is going to make a couple of line changes, both forward and defense. Maddie McKay now has the puck. Backhands it to the center. In come the Sharks into the North York end. Shot on net. Mancini's going to hold that off for a face-off. 14:41 remaining in the first period. 1-0 North York Storm, and a power play goal by Larissa Mayer. Play continues here in the North York end. They'll send it behind. This is Hartle, sending it forward into the neutral zone, picked up right at the blue line before it exited. It's Annabella Cosgrave. She'll put it out in front, right to Simone Swanson. She'll send it through, but it hits a couple of bodies. Doesn't meet its target. To the neutral zone. Sharks do manage to bring it in and keep it onside. That's Elda Silva. She can't maintain control as she tries to go around the net. She's intercepted by a couple of Storm players. Peyton Barrie trying to pull it out for North York, as is Taylor. Battle on the near side corner. Can't pull it off of that board. Larman getting in on the action. It's going to be a penalty call. It's going to be for the cross check. I believe that is going against the North York Storm player, number 21, Breslin Taylor. So let's see if the Sharks can't capitalize on their first power play of the game and tie this game up. Sadie France in the faceoff dot against Dunn. Won by North York. DaCosta will get a hold of it and get it as far as the blue line. Sonia Meta holds on and she'll shoot it through traffic. Steered aside by Mancini. Back to Meta at the point. Down to France. France back to the point for Meta. Meta and France playing catch. France sends it through and Mancini gets a piece of it and holds on. 1:38 remaining in the penalty. 13:31 remaining in the first period. 1-0 North York, and Barrie Sharks are now on a power play. Sadie France versus Holden for North York. Sonia Meta has it after the faceoff. Over to Swanson. Swanson sent it through. Toe save for Mancini. Puck loose and Mancini pounces on that fast. Holden and France square up again. Sharks have it after the draw. To Piper 7 at the blue line. She sends it over to Meta. Down to Sadie France. Same line on for the power play. Out in front. Couldn't find Jenny Keller. Kate Stewart back with it behind the goal line. Trying to get it out in front. She'll take a lap. She'll fire it in. Mancini gets a piece of it with the glove. Play continues. Here's Jenny Keller. Down to 1 minute remaining in the power play. Sonia Meta to France at the near side. They'll change places. Meta back to France at the point. Through traffic again. Steered aside. Back to the blue line for Sonia Meta. Down to 45 seconds remaining in the power play. Meta setting it through. Still can't find its target. Intercepted by Holden skates. France makes a shot. Doesn't get too far. Sharks can't find a way to get past all the black sweaters in front of the netminder. Crossover. Brumwell can't get the shot off. Has her stick lifted. France. Back to the point for Meta. France. To the far side for Piper 7. She'll ride the blue line. Back to Meta. Down to 8 seconds remaining in the power play. France. Back to Meta at the point. She'll try again. Gets as far as Mancini. Rebound available, and Mancini finds it and pounces on it. Nothing happening on that power play. Score remains 1-0 North York with 11:51 to go in the first period. Wallison for the faceoff for North York. Taya Wallace for Barrie, trying to hold on to that puck. She'll send it down deep behind the goal line. Mally Winter giving it chase. She's intercepted. Taya Wallace has it again. Over to Winter. Winter can't get the shot off. Behind the goal line for the North York Storm. Far side. Off the boards. Emily Wallace for North York goes for a skate and finally gets it back into the Sharks' end. It's been a while since North York's been down at that end. Behind the goal line in the Barrie end. Barrie for the North York Storm, trying to center it. They'll battle for it on the near side corner. It'll come away. Now it's sitting right behind Maxwell, behind her net. Off the boards. Sharks will clear it. They'll weave around. In comes Charette with a shot, and that just misses on the far side. Pellerin trying to move her way onto the puck. No go, so she'll head to the far side. Maddie McKay sending it to that far side, off the boards. Bit of a collision. Kathleen Dion's going to gather that puck and settle it down. Pass off to Pellerin. Charette behind the net. Over to Kathleen Dion. McKay trying to help out the cause, doesn't work. North York Storm still holding on in the Sharks' end. Gets as far as the blue line, but not out. Tegan Gloins finally lifts that puck out of harm's way. DaCosta back in her own end for the North York Storm. Picked off by Winter. What a move. Fires in but misses on the far side. DaCosta out in front. Here's Sam Larman. She fires in a glove stop by Mancini. 9:53 remaining in the first period. Sharks have had their chances. Can't find a way to get past all the black and past Mancini. Larman and Holden square off to the left of Mancini, won by the Sharks. Swanson to Dion, back to Swanson, on the near side boards, down low for De Silva. De Silva, half a lap, she'll backhand it to Larman. Back behind the goal line, trying to get it out in front. This is Wong for North York, she'll send it forward, just past Papadopoulos' stick. Back in the Sharks' end, Kathleen Dion takes a backtrack, and that's going to be a whistle. Is that for offside? Okay, cool. Thanks for the backup there, Faith. Have a face-off to the right of Mancini. So there's a good reason why I brought you tonight. Play continues at the blue line. Shot in, hits a body. Sits there as they battle for it right in front of the crease. Can't clear it out. De Silva picks it off, tries to center it for Stewart, doesn't work. Inazo sends it down. Collision on the boards with Sonia Mehta. That's going to be a penalty for body checking. That's going to go against the Barrie Sharks. That's Sonia Mehta, I think, who's going to be sitting. Yeah. North York Storm 1 for 1 on their power play. It's the lone goal of the game, scored by Larissa Mayer earlier in this period. Emily Wallace to take the face-off for North York, and they do have possession. Back to Mayer at the blue line. She sends it through. Maxwell with the save. She covers it up. Just 9 seconds gone in the power play. Wallace for North York to take the draw again. I can't see who's in the face-off dot from here for Barrie. It's Taya Wallace. Wallace versus Wallace in the face-off dot. Shot in. Maxwell gets a piece of it as it goes over the net. North York still in possession. Mayer at the blue line sends it down deep. Charette with the stick, backhands it, but not out. Another shot in by Mayer, saved by Maxwell. Battle on the near side corner. Hard to make out who the participants are, but it looks like Barrie is going to come away with that puck. Sadie Franz slides it over to Kate Stewart. Kate Stewart hits the brakes, waits for reinforcements. Here's Jenny Keller weaving around, shoots in, and Mancini with the save. Rebound available, and the girls capitalize on that. And the score is tied 1-1. Score made by Kate Stewart. And that is going to be her second goal of the season. Even strength goal, tying it up. I'm going to say that Jenny Keller had that assist. And that was short-handed. Even better. North York back in control after the face-off. That's Hardman sending it forward. All the way up for Reese Halliday. Sharks will reclaim that puck and get it to the neutral zone. North York still sending it back the other way. To neutral. Shot in. That's Mally Winter for the Barrie Sharks. Far side. 20 seconds remaining, 15 seconds remaining rather, in the power play for North York. Hardman sending it forward, looking for the long pass. Sharks getting in the way. That was Annabella Cosgrave. Mancini with the cover-up. 4 seconds remaining on the clock in the power play. 7:02 remaining in the first period, and it is a 1-1 tie. There's only 2 other games happening in U22 Elite. Now we'll check in on those scores after the first period and bring that score to you before we start the second. Not very common to see a game, U22 Elite games being played in the middle of the week, so not too much happening around the league tonight. Sharks bring it into the North York zone, just in front of the bench. They'll bring it around behind the net. Out to Maddie McKay. She holds onto it for just a second. Tegan Gloin's trying to get in on the action, but the North York Storm reclaim that puck. That's Charlotte Holden. Holding onto it, she brings it down behind the goal line. Over for Pellerin. Pellerin trying to weave that puck around, doesn't work. Annabella Cosgrave now sending it to the other side. Maddie McKay to the neutral zone. Sharks coming back in, they'll dump it down. That's Pellerin sending it down. North York picks it up on the far side post. Can't get it out. Barrie sending it forward. Goes back and forth in the neutral zone. Sharks reclaim that puck and bring it back in the North York end. Letty trying to hold it onto that puck and get it out of harm's way. Sharks doing a great job keeping it in the zone. Sam Larmond using her force to help reclaim that puck for the Barrie Sharks in the North York end. De Silva trying to get there, doesn't work. Grace Cusick at the blue line, sending it over for Swanson. She'll push it into the corner for De Silva. De Silva trying to get it out front. Amber Nazir now bringing the puck in. A couple of girls down there hit the deck. They both get up okay. Another one hitting a deck in the corner. Bodies flying everywhere. North York gets a shot in. Blocker save for Maxwell. And the Sharks will clear it to the neutral zone. North York finds it, however. De Silva, nice backhand to Sam Larman. She'll come in, passing it over to Keller. Kiss can't receive the pass, and it bounces off the end of her stick. That's going to be called on the offside with 4:50 remaining in the first period. 1-1 tie. Power play goal for North York by Larissa Mayer, and a shorthanded goal for Kate Stewart for Barrie. Sharks have it after the draw. Here comes Piper Sebin. Can't hold on to that puck as it's bouncing around. Here's Jenny Keller. What hand she has trying to weave that puck in and around the North York Storm players. Mayer backhanded out into the neutral zone. DaCosta has it in her own end. Over to Mayer to the far side. Mayer will lift that puck and get it down to the other end. Stewart trying to get it into the North York end, doesn't work. North York doing all they can to clear it out of their zone. France sending it back to Piper Sebin. Sebin sending it into the North York end and past the goal line, and that will be an icing call against the Barrie Junior Sharks. 4:05 remaining in the first period. 1-1 tie. Face off to the right of Maxwell. Battle on the near side corner. Puck will go behind the net. North York trying to bring it out in front. Defense tries to pinch, but the puck scoots past, comes all the way. Icing waved off immediately. Wong sending it out in front. Taya Wallace finds it at the blue line, but it goes up and out of play. 3:40 on the clock. Taylor to take the face off for North York, and that's won by the Storm. Far side, off the boards to neutral. Adriel Charette will bring it back behind the red line and turn around and send it back into the North York end. North York gets it back into neutral. Can't bring it in the Sharks' end. Bit of a collision at the neutral zone, and I can't quite see who's down, but she's not getting up very fast. Trainers coming out from the bench. It looked like an awkward fall backwards from here, and that is going to result in a penalty. I believe that's Cosgrave in the penalty box. It's interesting, the 2 minutes have come off the board. I don't know if it's a 5-minute major or a 10-minute misconduct, but the 2 minutes is not on the board any longer. Cosgrave is still in the penalty box, though. North York player is on her knees, but she is slow to stand up. We certainly hope that everything is fine and that it's not too terribly serious. Trainer is talking to her. Looks like she's going to stand up. Yes, she is. And she's under her own power, which is a great sign. That is number 6, Reese Halliday. We'll keep an eye on her and see if she returns to the ice, but for now she's going to step off. We certainly hope that she's okay. Now the 2 minutes is back on the board. So it is indeed a power play for North York. Wallace in for the face-off for North York. Mayer passing it over to her partner. Back to Mayer at the point. She'll fire it in. Maxwell steers it aside. Battle in the corner. Ashlyn Donald getting involved. Out to the blue line. Luddy's trying to cut in. Makes a turn around Jenny Keller. Mally Winter. Maxwell guarding that post. Battle behind the net. It'll squeak finally to the corner and out to the blue line for Larissa Mayer. She sends it back to the corner. Back to Mayer at the blue line, and she can't handle the pass. Breakaway attempt here for the Sharks. Here's Sam Larmond. She'll wait, she'll fire, and she finds the top corner. And with 1:12 still on the power play for the North York, the Sharks score shorthanded on a breakaway. And the Sharks take the lead. 2 shorthanded goals. All right, 1:05 left in the power play. Let's see if the North York Storm can capitalize on having a player advantage. Taya Wallace doing all she can to hold on to that puck. Still in the North York end. Now it comes to neutral. Trying to reave around the Sharks is Breslin Taylor. That'll go the distance. 40 seconds remaining in the power play. Mancini will leave it. For her defense, Wallace with a backhand, she steals that puck away. Nearly had another opportunity there shorthanded. Stewart off the boards to the blue line. and back down behind the goal line. Sharks keeping it in the North York end. 20 seconds remaining in the power play for North York. Stewart trying to weave around. Soft backhand just slides wide of the post. Looks like the puck went out of play, so we'll have a face-off here with 4 seconds remaining in the power play. 1:25 remaining in the first period. 2-1 in favor of the Sharks. Face-off won by the Sharks. Keller tries to drive the net. Mancini shuts the door and the puck will go back to the neutral zone. Back to 5-on-5. Keller to Winter. Winter looks, tries to center it to Stewart. Intercepted by Holden for the North York Storm. Shot in, deflection. Mancini sees it. Stops it from going too far. Winter back to the blue line for 7. 7 over to Dion. Puck skips to the corner. Final minute of play in the first period, and Mancini's going to pounce on that. I'll be anxious to see what the shots on goal are here for the first period. Special teams making an effort here. First goal by North York was a power play goal, and both goals by the Sharks were shorthands. Face-off continues. Play continues for the North York end after the face-off. I'll get my words right eventually. Larissa Mayer sitting into the neutral zone for the North York Storm, and they bring the puck in. That's Ashlyn Donald over the blue line. Doesn't hold the puck for long before the Sharks will reclaim that puck over the blue line, and a shot in by Sonia Mehta. 25 seconds remaining in the first period, and here comes another penalty against the North York Storm. I believe that will be another cross-checking penalty, if I'm calling that correctly. Yes, I am. It's going to go against number 27, Ashlyn Donald, I do believe. Nope, 11. Emily Wallace will sit 2 or less for the cross-check. There's only 16 seconds remaining in the period, so it's likely this power play will continue into the second period. Face off to the right of Mancini. Puck sits there. It's going to get won by the North York Storm. Larissa Mayer lifting it up out of harm's way as the seconds tick off the first period. Mehta will take her time, setting it up to Jenny Keller just past her stick, and that will likely do it for the first period. Yes, it will. So 1:44 will go into the second period. 1:44 in the power play. After 20 minutes, it's 2-0 Barrie Sharks. Goals from Kate Stewart and Sam Larman, both short-handed. We'll step aside here for a Zamboni cleaning, and I'll be back with the scores from the 2 out-of-town games that are happening right now, the shots on goal, and of course the second period. Stand by, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Canlan, North York. We're getting set here for the second period. Come on and bring us in, Faith, if you don't mind. Reset your sights here just to make sure everything's good. Cool. All right. After the first period, it's 2-1 Barrie Sharks. 2 shorthanded goals scored by number 82, Kate Stewart. That would be her second goal of the season. And Sam Larmond, that is her third goal of the season. Again, both shorthanded goals, and they have a power play to deal with as well into the second period. I did check the out-of-town scores. Again, there's only 2 more games going on right now. Etobicoke is beating Stony Creek by a score of 3-1. And Burlington is visiting Central York, and I could not find a score there, so nothing happening there. Again, the Sharks are at home day after tomorrow. Back in the Shark Tank on October the 3rd as they welcome in the OHA Mavericks. And then on Sunday afternoon, they will welcome in the Stony Creek Sabres. And then following that, a week from tonight, they are in Central York to take on the Junior Panthers. I'll quickly go over the top 10 here. Going into tonight's game, holding down the first spot is the Etobicoke Dolphins. Second place is our Barrie Sharks. Third is Mississauga. Holding down fourth place is the Central York Junior Panthers. In fifth, Toronto Leaside Wildcats. 6 is the Whitby Wolves. 7 is the Stony Creek Sabres. 8th is the Brampton Canadiens. And rounding out the top 10, 9 is the Cambridge Rivulets. And number 10 are the Toronto Arrows. Actually, some interesting names in the top 10 that weren't there last year. So lots of development going on in the teams, which is awesome to see. So 1:44 remaining on that penalty. Sharks will have a power play for minute 44 or less. And on the ice, it looks like it's Stewart, Seven, Meta, Keller. I can't make out who's on the far side. Can you? The fifth one in the bunch over there on the far side, Faith. Yeah. Once again, I'd like to thank my daughter for helping me out tonight. It was awesome for her to make the trip with me this evening. Yes, Sadie France. All right, I can hear the thunder from here. And we are underway here in the second period. Sharks trying to grab a hold of that puck. Now, we'll see. Unfortunately, in this particular period, if the Sharks score, it'll be down at the far end. It'll go all the way down to Mancini, and she'll cover that up for the face-off rather quickly. Halliday off the ice, I see. She's not back on the bench. So it looks like she might be out the remainder of the game. Meta at the blue line, sending it through traffic. Mancini finds it, and she'll pounce on that quickly. France in for the face-off again. I can't tell who she's squaring off against from here. It was to the left of Mancini, out to Meta at the point. Down. Shot in. Stewart with the backhand. That skips wide. Meta finds it at the blue line, and she'll wait. She'll come to center. Sending it over. Back to Meta at the point. Down the far side. That's Sadie France. Back to Meta at the point. Back to France as they play catch. Again, they'll change places. Meta with the backhand. She'll pick it up. She'll drive it, but it's picked up by North York, and they get it out of harm's way and steer it to the corner. Behind the net, Piper 7 holds onto the line, using her soccer skills to use a little kick. 7, back to Meta at the point. She'll send it through traffic, looking for the deflection. I believe that was Jenny Keller, but it scoots wide. Battle for Sadie France. Still in possession of that puck. She'll drive, shoot it, and that's going to be a save by Mancini with 21 seconds remaining in the power play. shots on goal in the first period, according to my buddy Josh, who's down rink side, 20-8 in favor of the Barrie Sharks. 14 seconds remaining in the power play. Cosgrave at the point. Down to Dion. She has her pocket picked. North York can't clear it. Great effort by the Sharks to hold on to it in their own end. This is Taya Wallace down to the far side. It'll scoot into the corner. Sharks still in possession, but weren't able to get a shot off before the ending of that power play. Back to 5-on-5. Saved by Mancini, and the North York Storm will clear it to neutral. This is Kathleen Dion trying to put it back into play in the North York end. They'll battle for it on the near side boards, but here's Maddie McKay. She'll bring it in. Slide pass for Taya Wallace. Couldn't put it past Mancini. My goodness, what a great pass. You see the net's off back there? Cool. All right, so the whistle because of that was off. Thank you. You guess you have better sight line from here? Okay, all right. Sam Larman to take the face off for Barrie. Won by the Storm. Battle on the near side boards. It's hard to make out through the mesh. Seven holds the line, sending it down to De Silva. But the North York Storm pick it up. That's Emily Wallace for North York, trying to get it out of harm's way. It gets to the blue line and over, and the North York Storm have a bit of an opportunity here. Great effort by Charette for the Barrie Sharks to get back. Battle on the near side corner. 3 black, 1 white. Seven being sandwiched in, but the Sharks do come away with that. That's Sam Larmond setting it to the near side. Simone Swanson will get to it and will send it down, but gloved down by Mayer at the red line. She puts it back in play for the North York Storm. Amber Nazir giving it chase. Around the back of the net and to the far side, they'll put it right back into the slot area, right past Maxwell's stick, over to Simone Swanson. She'll feed up to De Silva, who tries to weave around the defense and can't get the shot off. Sharks get it out in front, but on the North York stick. It'll bounce around. Seven holding the line for Barrie, over to Meta. Meta to Seven. Seven setting it through. That's deflected to the near side corner. Seven battling for it with Ariana Pellerin. Meta with the cross check, and unfortunately that means a call. Meta steps to the box. I believe it's going to be for cross checking. I don't see the sign, but I do believe that it was cross checking. So another power play opportunity for North York. They do have one power play goal. Here's Sadie France, short-handed. She's on a tear, tries to split the defense, but it steers aside into the corner. She'll give it chase and try to put it out in front for Wallace, and nearly had an opportunity. Mancini pounces on that with just 15 seconds into the power play for North York. Off the draw. North York in possession. Take stock of opportunities here behind the net and pass out. Over to Cosgrave. She'll lift and put it back in play in the North York end, keeping it out of the Barrie end. 30 seconds into the power play. Mancini watching her post as she goes side to side. Puck will come all the way down. Icing waved off. Cosgrave looking, it'll go past her. North York in possession. To the point. They'll step in and fire. That hits Cosgrave. She turns and deflects that puck. Great stop, using her height. Puck will come all the way down. Ashlyn Donald chasing. Battle in front of the North York bench. Gloins feeds it off to Keller. Keller over the blue line. She'll fire. That just goes wide. Keller and Stewart on the same line trying to connect. North York intercepting their passes. the whistle being called for a glove pass. Thank you. So you're seeing stuff that I'm not seeing. This vantage point at the end, I can't quite see the ice nicely. So thank you for being my second set of eyes, Faith. Much appreciated. My daughter's a former goalie, so she knows what to look for. North York still has possession after the draw. 30 seconds remaining in the power play. North York hasn't had too many opportunities here at the end against Riley Maxwell. Sharks doing a great job keeping it out of their own end. Down behind the goal line. Seben trying to pull it out. North York finds it. This is Wallace for North York. She fires it in. Great stop by Maxwell. Rebound available, but the Sharks get it out of the crease. Kathleen Dion sending it out. And the power play comes to an end as Meta steps back to the ice. They'll battle for it in front of the North York bench. Kathleen Dion will send it back. Maxwell's going to put a stop to that with just over 14 minutes to go in the second period. 2-1 Barrie Sharks. Again, all goal scoring happening in the first period. Both Barrie goals were shorthanded, and the one lone goal by North York was a power play goal. So special teams definitely playing a part in this contest this evening. Mally Winter for Barrie takes the draw against Holden for North York. Puck will skip past Barrie, sticking all the way down. Abby Brummel with a backhand. Mancini with the stop. Play continues. I don't know how that stayed out. What an opportunity for Abby Bromwell. Taya Wallace trying to get it out in front. Brummel with a shot in. Doesn't get too far. Great job by Charette to hold on, but the North York Storm will clear that puck out and send it all the way down. Grace Cusick will find that puck and try to push it out in front. They'll battle for it on the far side corner. Bromwell lifting it out. That'll go by the Barrie bench and picked up by Larissa Mayer in the North York end. Here come the Storm, back the other way, trying to get around Charette, trying to pass it off to Ianasso. Over to the far side, she'll fire it in. Maxwell steers that aside. Behind the goal line for Holden out in front. Shot in, I believe that was by Ianasso, and that just missed by the near side board. Near side post, excuse me. Behind the blue line and all the way back in over the North York blue line in front of the bench. Big turn over to Larissa Mayer. Mayer trying to fire it in. It hits Charette instead, and Charette will get it out. Not over the blue line. North York doing all they can here. Last couple minutes have a couple good opportunities in on net. Maddie McKay tries to pull it in, but she comes in just offside. 12:15 remaining in the second period. 2-1 Barrie Sharks. North York has it after the draw. Sharks do a good job, holding the line. They'll battle on the far side corner. Sharks doing all they can. Oh my goodness. It's Elda Silva upended. You could just see the exclamations coming from the Barrie bench. No call on that. Dion in front of the bench. Dumps it down for De Silva, just past her. Larman finds it in the corner. She hits the deck. De Silva trying to get a handle on that puck. It squirts free. North York in control. North York hits it off the boards and into the neutral zone. Piper Seben tries to backhand it back into play. Dion finds it, brings it in on her own, but she has her pocket picked as she enters the zone. That's going to be another penalty call, and I believe that's going to go against the Sharks. Another cross-checking call. This one's going to go against El De Silva. Sharks finding themselves short-handed quite a bit. 5 penalties to North York's 2. But the Sharks currently have the advantage 2-1 on 2 short-handed goals. Seben versus Wallace in the face-off dot. Puck sits for a second, but Donald has it for the North York Storm. Sending it towards the net and behind Maxwell. Far side corner. Can't quite see what's happening in that corner. Here's Jenny Keller out in front. France doing a great job holding on, and she goes into the boards for her trouble. Shot in just past Maxwell. Donald driving the net, shot in. Puck available, bouncing around, can't get it past Maxwell. Another shot in by Ashlyn Donald, and Cosgrave will lift that puck and get rid of it. 1:18 remaining in the power play for North York. Sadie France trying to grab that puck, picked up by the Storm. They'll clear it to neutral. In comes North York. It's McNichol trying to hand it off to her teammate. Again, a battle behind that goal line. Out in front, finds Kate Stewart, and she will slide it down to the other end. 45 seconds remaining in the penalty. Just about the halfway point of this period and this contest. 2-1 Barrie Sharks. Battle on the far side corner. The puck will squeak loose to Piper 7 at the blue line. She'll send it down deep, keeping it out of the North York end. Sharks pin it up against the board. That's Kate Stewart, I believe, down there holding onto that puck. You can hear the cheering coming from her bench as they encourage her to hold on to that puck. Puck will squeak loose and come all the way down. 10 seconds remaining in the penalty. Piper 7 tries to shoot it out, but it hits the official skate, so it stays in the North York end. Out in front to the blue line. North York will dump it back down behind the net. This is Holden for North York, sending it down. Out in front, Holden can't find it to get the shot off. Penalty has expired, now 5-on-5. So nothing happening on that penalty. That power play. Another shovel in, and the nets come off. Puck was still loose, but the net was off as the North York Storm tried to jab away at it. Pardon? 3 saves? Did you count the saves? Maxwell's doing good, isn't she? Yep. She's a welcome addition on this team with Amelia Wilkinson vacating the spot. Riley Maxwell has been awesome as her first year at U22 Elite. Her and Ava Sador have been a great tandem so far in the beginning of this season. Larman to take the draw. Sharks win it to the far side. It will get out to neutral, all the way back into the North York end. Here's Mally Winter weaving around, trying to drive the net. Meta at the blue line. Yeah, I can't speak. Should have had another coffee before I came. Round the backside. Grace Cusick trying to hold the line. Puck will come out to neutral, and North York will bring it into the Sharks' end. Around behind Maxwell to the far side. Meta with a collision with Dunn. Puck will come all the way down. Simone Swanson trying to push her rival off the puck. North York gets to it first. To the neutral zone. North York doing all they can to bring it back into the Sharks' end. This is Kathleen Dion behind the goal line for the Sharks. Over to Simone Swanson. She'll send it forward to Larmond. Larmond can't hold the pass, picked off by McNichol for North York. All the way back into the North York end, and a long pass. Not sure why that's not icing. It didn't hit anybody, but play continues in the Sharks' end. That will come the distance. Is that going to be icing? Yes, it will. 7:38 remaining in the second period. 2-1 Barrie Sharks. Face off here to the left of Maxwell. Tegan Loins to take the face off for Barrie. That'll be a quick scoop there by Maxwell. We'll sit up here on the left of Maxwell, and we'll do it again. Emily Wallace in for the face-off for North York. Puck sits there. Sharks try to get it out, but it's held onto in the line by the Storm. Another penalty coming. This one's going to go against Barrie, I believe. Whistle hasn't come. I do see the hand up. It's going to be for body contact, body checking. Who's it going to go? It's Faith. Oh, it's going to go against Barrie. Yeah, so it's going to go against Barrie. 88 is going to get the call for body checking. Parade to the penalty box continues for Barrie. Still 2-1. North York hasn't been able to capitalize on another power play opportunity since early in the first period. They scored the first goal of the game. D-to-D pass sends it down behind the goal line. They'll pass it around behind the goal line again, trying to get it out in front. Taylor for North York giving it chase. Puck goes to the far side where it's found by Sonia Meta for Barrie. She'll backhand and lift it, and it will make it all the way down into the North York end. 30 seconds of that penalty has expired. Sadie Franz trying to hold on. Larissa Mayer finds that puck and moves it forward. Seben getting in the way of that pass, just not long enough. It'll skip over her stick and come all the way into the Barrie end. Sonia Meta with the puck. And I do see that hand is up for another penalty call. Is that going to be a 5-on-3 cross-checking, or is that going to equalize? Looks like is it Nazir? Yep. So just take the power play off. It's 4-on-4, and don't worry about after the whistle. Just give me instructions from my new scoreboard here. So 4-on-4 hockey for 1:10. Behind Mancini, Kate Stewart trying to find that puck. It'll go bouncing around behind that net. Stewart finds it, can't get it out in front. I believe that's Adrielle Charette. Yes, it is. She sends it over to Cosgrave. Cosgrave holding on. Nearly lost her edging, but the Sharks maintain control of that puck. Back to Charette. Long pass to Cosgrave. Hits a skate instead of her stick, and that's going to be offside. .34 seconds remaining in the 4-on-4, and then an abbreviated power play coming after that for the Sharks. Mally Winter to take the draw for Barrie. Puck sits there. Storm finds it. North York Storm bring it across that blue line, and that's going to be offside. 27 seconds remaining in the 4-on-4. Draw right in front of the North York bench. Sharks have possession. North York trying to reclaim it in front of the Barrie net. That's Taylor for North York. Sonia Meta is going to find it. She'll hand it off to Seben, who hands it right back to Meta. She's coming in on a mission. She fires Mancini with the stop. What effort all the way from the goal line here, right in front of Maxwell. Bit of a pass off to Seben. Seben hands it right back to Meta. Meta goes down the far side boards with a shot in, and she had speed entering the zone. 5 seconds remaining in the 4-on-4. And then 50-second power play for Barrie. North York will dump it down as the last seconds come off that penalty to Gloins. Icing is the call. 43 seconds remaining in the power play now for Barrie. Face off to the left of Mancini. Larmond in to take the draw. Won by Barrie. Cosgrave to Dion, sending it right back to Cosgrave and sending it down towards the net. Now behind the net, Simone Swanson, excuse me. North York gets a hold of it and sends it all the way down into the Barrie end. 25 seconds remaining in the power play. Kathleen Dion over to Larmond. Larmond weaving around the North York Storm. Doesn't get too far. Stood up at the blue line, so the Sharks will have to retreat. 10 seconds remaining. Cosgrave looks at her options. Sends it over to De Silva, but that's offside. Just 1 second remaining on that power play, so likely nothing happening as the faceoff's going to come down to the Sharks' end to the right of Maxwell. 4:29 remaining in the second period, still 2-1. It's where the first period ended, so no scoring happening in the second period. Here's Simone Swanson trying to work around the defense. She fires in, that steered aside. Out to Larmond. She'll backhand it to Dion. Sends it over to Charette. She'll send it through to the net, but that's steered aside. It'll come to Dion at the red line. She'll backtrack, send it up. Simone couldn't find it. North York taking over. They'll bring it into the Sharks' end and down behind the goal line. Puck will ride all the way down into the North York end. North York trying to clear it out in front for, I think it was Wallace who got the shot off, and a stop by Mancini. Face off to the left of Mancini with 3:44 to go in the second. Puck will come all the way back into the Sharks' end after the draw. Here's Charette. She'll take a tour around Maxwell's net, send it out to McKay. She can't sell the bouncing puck down, and that will come behind the goal line, and that will be icing. That looked dangerous. It's like Kira Hartle had a seat running into the official down there, but she looks like she's okay. Face off to the right of Maxwell. It'll be Gloins to take the face off versus Taylor. Shot in. Maxwell the deflection into the corner. To Charette. Charette sending it up to Pellerin. Pellerin to Gloins. And back into the Sharks' end. Maxwell will leave it for her defense. Charette sending it down to the far side. Here's McKay. McKay to Pellerin. Pellerin down the near side boards and down. She'll dump it in behind the net for Mancini. And that will be an icing call. No, play continues. Jenny Keller goes around a couple of black squares, gets the shot off, rebound available. North York picking it up. Collision at the blue line. Keller finds the puck and tries to cut into the middle. She'll do that, trying the backhand. That's going to get steered aside. Is that going to be another penalty call, or is the net off? I think the net is off. That's why the whistle was blown. No penalty being called. 2:27 remaining in the second period. 2-1 Barrie Sharks. Again, this is game 8 of the regular season. Sharks currently sitting in second place behind the Etobicoke Junior Dolphins. Just 2 points behind them. Kate Stewart after the draw, trying to center it up. Meta down to Stewart. Stewart trying to center it just through the crease. To Kusick at the blue line. She'll send it in, and it dances around right in front. Stewart trying to get that bouncing puck past Mancini. It'll bounce over and behind the net instead. North York will gain control and bring it into the neutral zone. Down under 2 minutes to go here in the second period. No scoring happening in this period. Still 2-1. That's how the first ended. To Kate Stewart. She can't hold on. She has her stick lifted. Sonia Meta back in her own end. Gets it to neutral. Puck goes back and forth over that blue line. Here's Grace Cusick with a little bit of space. She'll send it down. And that will be icing. 1:26 remaining in the second period. Face off to the right of Maxwell. Sharks have it after the draw. They'll fight for it on the far side corner. Meta finds it, sends it forward to Wallace. Wallace loses an edge temporarily, but she's going to chase after it in the far side corner. Picked up by the North York Storm, and they'll bank it off the boards, but not out. Maddie McKay getting back really fast to hold on to that puck in the North York end. Dion now manning the line. Looks like the North York Storm player was tripped up, but no hand went up. Play continues as we come into the final minute of the second period. North York in control in the neutral zone. At the red line. Back across that red line. Over in front of the North York bench where Simone Swanson for Barrie finds it. Over to Larman. Larman can't quite get around the defense to get a shot off. Puck is still in the North York end. De Silva trying to get a handle on it, but it goes to Larman instead. At the line for Piper Sebin. Lift it and get it to neutral. Here's Kathleen Dion. Final 10 seconds of the second period. Ringing around the boards out to in front of the Barrie bench, and that is how this is going to end. So after two, the score is the same, 2-1 for the Barrie Sharks. Again, the score is coming in the first period. North York with a power play goal from number 9. Larissa Mayer. And the 2 goals for the Barrie Sharks is Kate Stewart and Sam Larman, and they're both shorthanded goals. Okay, we'll step aside for another Zamboni cleaning. I'll be back to bring you the third period. Come on back, folks. Hey everybody, welcome back. Almost time for the third period. Oh, you know what? I didn't check the score of the out-of-towns. I got distracted. Let's quickly check on those. Shots on goal, I did find out, are 28-14. What's the matter, hon?
The microphone in here, everyone covered their ears.
Oh, did they? Is that what I was hearing up here? So shots on goal were 28-14 after 2 periods. That's in favor of the Barrie Sharks, so they're doubling them on shots on goal. It looks like it's still 3-1 for the Etobicoke Dolphins, and I still don't see a score in the Central York Burlington game, but I will double check here. It's like the clock turned off. It says 9:18. Is that the current time? Yeah, it is. All right, so it's 4-2 for the Etobicoke Dolphins. 1-0 in favor of the Burlington Barracudas, and of course this game is still 2-1. 4-2, 1-0. Awesome. Once again, these girls are back in action on Friday night, back in the Shark Tank as they host the OHA Mavericks. And then they'll have a day off on Saturday, and then they'll welcome in the Stony Creek Sabres on Sunday. All right, Faith, ready for one more period? Yeah? You getting the handle of the clock now? Okay. No glitches in the second period? And then we'll start the third period off at even strength. Pardon? Yeah, I'll stand in front of it. Good idea. That way I don't kick it. You're smart, Faith. There's a reason why I brought you. You've been my backup all night.
I work at NASA.
You work at NASA? Really? What secret life do you have that you haven't told me about?
Can't disclose that.
You can't disclose that. Okay, yeah, okay. Kids. All right, we're set for the third period. Here we go. That was Sam Lummer to take the draw for Barrie. Barrie does have it after the draw. Larissa Mayer sending it back into the Sharks' end, and back and forth we go, and back into the North York end. Mancini will leave it for her partner. Out in front, Larman trying to get a handle on it. It goes as far as the blue line. Annabella Cosgrave fires it in, and that's steered aside by Mancini. No problem. De Silva taking her time, chipping it off the boards. Out in front, no Shark at home in front of the net. North York will get a handle on that. That's Olivia Letty out to Taylor. And finally out into the neutral zone. Shark sending it back down behind the goal line in the North York end. Up to Letty. Letty over the blue line and back into the North York end. All right, back and forth over that blue line, and it finally gets over to the Sharks' end to Annabella Cosgrave. Jenny Keller taking it off the boards and back to the blue line in front of the North York bench. North York taking a turn. Back to the defense and all the way, and that is going to be an icing call against the North York Junior Storm, and then we'll have a face-off here next to Mancini. Just under 19 minutes to go in the third period. Again, 2-1 Barrie Sharks. All the goal scoring happening in the first period. Taylor to take the face-off for North York. Keller for Barrie. North York has it after the draw. We'll try to clear it out, but the defense for Barrie is sitting on the blue line. They'll get it out to neutral, picked up by Piper Seven. Seven taking her time as she re-enters the North York end. Drop passes it to Jenny Keller, who fires it in, and that's gloved down by Mancini very quickly. And we'll have another face-off. Wallace to take the face-off for North York. Winter for Barrie, won by the Sharks. Dion can't hold the line. She'll hold on to that puck and backtrack to the red line. Passing it up to Sadie France, but she can't hold on to that pass. North York will now get it out. Brumwell giving it chase. Here comes North York over that blue line. They'll cut in, backhand, just through the crease and out the other side. North York continuing their offense. It'll come out to the neutral zone. Back to the red line. It's going to get picked up. Trying to see who that is. Olivia Hardman into the Sharks' end. Down behind the goal. Taya Wallace finds it out the other side, but can't hold on to that puck. To the blue line for North York. They'll fire, but that just goes wide and over. That shot made by Kira Hartle. Behind Maxwell. Sharks now in control. Off the boards. Brumwell can't bring it in before North York brings it back the other way. Battle on the blue line. Holden for North York tries to hold on to that puck. Keller finds it. Sends it over to Kate Stewart, who will give it back. Shot can't be made by Sadie Franz. Behind the goal line. Trying to get it out in front, but it goes to the far side boards. Grace Kusick comes in. Can't hold on. The North York Storm will chip it off the boards and clear it. Here's Sonia Mehta back on her own end. To Kate Stewart. They come in onside. Here's Jenny Keller. Stewart can't hold onto that puck. It rides off the end of her stick. North York claiming control. They'll battle for it. Cut in. Shot made. That's Breslin Taylor. It'll come back behind Maxwell. Here's Grace Kusick behind the goal line, trying to get out in front for the Barrie Sharks. Out to McKay. It rides up and over her stick, but it does come into the North York end. Near side boards, picked up by Pellerin. Pellerin to the far side. Shot in just over the crossbar. Goes past Annabella Cosgrave, so she'll skate it back all the way behind the goal line in the Sharks' end. In the corner, out in front, shot in the slot just past the far side post, and that will be a penalty call. And I believe that is going to go against the Barrie Sharks. That's going to be for interference. Or 77. I think it was Charette for interference. So another power play opportunity for North York. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is their 7th power play of the game. They have scored on the first one way back in the first period, but that's all they've gotten so far. Shot in from the point, and a scoop up there by Maxwell in the first 8 seconds of that power play. Face off to the right of Maxwell. Dion has it for Barrie. Up to Larmond. Larmond will throw it down to Mancini at the North York end. Giving it chase is Sadie Franz. Franz trying to pin it to the boards and hold on to it in the North York end. They do a good job to keep it down there for some length of time, but North York will bring it into the neutral zone. Dion sending it back into North York end. 1:25 remaining in the power play. Mayer giving it chase. She'll bump Larmond off the puck. And is that going to be a call? Yeah, number 9, Larissa Mayer is going to get called for boarding. Let's see what the sign is. Yep, body contact. So 4-on-4 hockey here for a bit. Am I right? Yep. Take the power play off. So minute 15 of 4-on-4 hockey. I think it's the second time this has happened today. Mehta through traffic, and she scores. That is not a power play goal. It is 4-on-4, scored by Sonia Mehta, and that will be her first goal of the season. She's got 5 assists, but this is her first goal. Score now 3-1, still 4-on-4. This is Barrie in the North York end. She'll wait, fans on the initial passing attempt. She does get it up in front into the neutral zone. And the puck will come into the Sharks' end. Maxwell let it fly by her. Back behind the goal line. Lift it and come all the way down. No icing. Still 4-on-4 for 35 more seconds. Then an abbreviated power play. Here's De Silva. She's tripped up. That's going to result in a longer power play. So that's going to be for tripping. That's going to go against, can't see who's going, I think it was Barrie. So we got 4-on-3 hockey here for 25 seconds. And then some 5-on-3 for almost a minute. Back to Dion, fire in, just past the goal post. Far side. Here's De Silva. De Silva will take a half a lap. Pushed off. She'll send it back to the defense. This is Dion. Back to De Silva. De Silva drives the net. Decides not to take the shot. She'll just send it back to the point for Dion. Dion back to De Silva. De Silva sent it to the far side. No, it hits in the slot. And Winter was going for the shot. Picked up by De Silva before it leaves the zone. And now we got 5-on-3 happening here. 5-on-4 in about 15 seconds. Shot in. Just past the near side post. Over to the far side. Now to 5-on-4. Shot in. Hits 7. Doesn't get into the net. De Silva sends it back to the point. Right back to De Silva. De Silva will drop past it. What a back pass! Oh my goodness, what a shot there by Abby Bromwell to feed Winter. That nearly worked. 30 seconds remaining in the power play for Barrie. Pass meant for Lormond, couldn't hold on to that puck before North York sends it back the other way. Wallace and now Meta has that puck behind Maxwell. She'll see what her options are. 10 seconds remaining in the power play. Wallace to the near side for Dion. Dion sending it back to McKay. McKay taking a little bit of a pirouette. She'll drive and shoot. No, it'll hit a North York skate. Hartle. McKay, Wallace, Taylor, all on the action, near side corner. Over to Cosgrave. She'll come in and fire. That hits Larmond. Another shot by Cosgrave, and that gets deflected to the far side corner. Cosgrave holds the line. Back to 5-on-5. Hartle and Larmond will fight for it again on the near side boards. Here's Wallace. Wallace cutting in. Over to Cosgrave. One-timer and a great save by Mancini. 11:24 remaining in the third period. 3-1 Barrie Sharks.
Someone's neck guard came off
Oh yeah?
like a minute ago.
Face off to the right of Mancini. Won temporarily by North York. Sharks trying to pull it out from behind the goal line. It's Sadie France trying to get in on the action as well as Stewart. To the point for Charette. She thought about firing. Keller trying to feed off to France. Now here comes Ashlyn Donald for North York back the other way. Cosgrave trying to stop her, but she loses an edge. Can't quite complete that. Down behind the net. On the Sharks' end. Here's Jenny Keller. She'll backhand it behind for Adriel Charette. Charette. Sending it forward to Keller. Keller can't get it out. Now she will. Here comes Cosgrave. She has a bit of space. She'll come and she'll fire, but that goes up and over the crossbar. As she looks to the sky saying, what did I just do? She had a lot of room, but she totally fired that one way over the crossbar. 10:36 remaining in the third period. 3-1 Barrie Sharks. Michaela Dunn to take the face-off for North York. Won by the Storm. Storm trying to clear it out of their own end. This is Olivia Letty. Getting issues from Maddie McKay, but she does manage to get it to the far side. Out in front. Gloins to the blue line. Over to Pellerin. Pellerin firing it in. That's steered aside by Mancini. Here's Olivia Letty now with some speed through neutral, trying to get through the defense. Doesn't get too far. Puck comes back to neutral. Halfway point of the third period. 3-1 Barrie Sharks. Puck will skip aside and come all the way down, and that will be an icing call against the North York Storm. 9:52 left on the clock. One last final reminder, the Sharks are at home in 2 days, Friday night, 8 p.m. in the Shark Tank, as the Barrie Sharks will welcome in the OHA Mavericks. Of course, we'll have that one for you on the YouTube channel, and I hope all of you are enjoying the action so far this year on the YouTube channel. We're having a good time. 7 for Dion. Dion down for De Silva. Up to Dion. 7 and Dion play catch through traffic. Puck up and down into the corner for Larmond. Larmond. Oh, meant to leave it for 7, but she miscalculated that. So the puck will come all the way back to Maxwell in the Sharks' end. Dion gets back there fast. Sends it over. Out to neutral. Harder will dump it down in for North York. Puck behind Maxwell. North York holds the line, but the puck is going to skip out back to Hartle. Now puck's all the way back into North York end. Giving it chase is Simone Swanson as she tries to work her stick around Hartle. Wallace for North York tries to get a handle on it, and that bounces around. Couple of girls collide in the neutral zone. They look okay. De Silva now in possession. She'll ride that blue line and cut in. Down to Charette. Charette towards the net. Saved by Mancini. Puck is shot away all the way down for Mally Winter. Winter with the turn through neutral. Loses the handle, but she still comes in onside, and Mancini with the stop. No, whistle down for the offside. .27 remaining in the third. 3-1 Barrie Sharks. Face-off won by the Storm. This is DaCosta. DaCosta lifts it over everybody and into the neutral zone. Here come the Storm. Over the blue line. Fire in, and Maxwell, no. She didn't get it. It goes underneath her. And this is now a 1-goal game. Even strength. Goal being scored by Jade McNichol. And that is her first goal of the season. And we're down to a 1-goal difference with 8:16 to go in the third. Did it go under the 5-hole, do you think? Yeah. It's hard to tell from here. In any case, it's 3-2. Was it low? Yeah. Over to Kate Stewart. Sharks have doubled up after 2 periods. It was shots on goal 28-14, and that did not miss by much, just past the near side post. Grace Cusick to Sadie France. She tries to get it out in front for Keller. That doesn't work. Larissa Mayer now has the puck. She'll get around Meta, hand it back. North York enters it onside. With some life back, North York brings it back into the North York end. Excuse me, the Barrie end. Up to Pellerin. Puck turned aside and back into the Sharks' end. About in front for Holden. Holden trying to cut in. She can't get the shot up before it's picked up by the Sharks. Still in the Sharks' end. Pellerin can't clear it. Sonia Meta behind the net. Up in front. Here come the Sharks back the other way. Grace Cusick is stopped before she gets too far. Holden setting it up to Wong. Sharks trying to bring it back in. This is Tegan Gloins. Things get a bit more physical here as we get into the latter half of the third period. In the Sharks' end, Piper Seven trying to work her way onto the puck, as is Tegan Gloins. They don't get it out. North York keeps it in play on the blue line. Now the Sharks take a possession and get it out. Here's Sam Larmond. Larmond trying to weave around the North York defense. Doesn't work, and they'll come into the far side corner. McKay trying to get it out in front. Back into the corner it goes as they battle for it. Out in front, trying to wrap around there on the short side, and Mancini follows that one all the way. 6:05 remaining in the third period. 3-2 Barrie Sharks. It's going to be Wallace on the draw against France for Barrie. Won by the Sharks. Keller sends it back to Charette. Charette through traffic. Oh, wow. I'm speechless on that one. Looked like Mancini had it. Looks like she was stacking the pads. But the Sharks get another goal. I saw Charette fire that one. I don't know if it was tipped in, but I'm going to give it to Charette right now. If it's Charette, it's going to be her first goal of the season. Play continues here with just under 6 minutes to go. Maxwell will cover that one up. See, it's goals like that I wish I had a replay.
How did that go in? I was following the camera. I saw the goalie out of the crease.
No, I know. I'm not sure how it got past. Maxwell at the save. Shot goes behind the net. Maxwell has to ride those posts, go back and forth. North York is going to want to cut into that lead again. Here come the Sharks. Here's De Silva. De Silva with a backhand trying to feed off to Swanson, but she wasn't in the correct location, and penalty coming. I believe that Simone Swanson was held up. Extra attacker is on. New York will touch that puck, and that will get whistled in. It's going to be for a head contact. Is it going to be 2 or 4? Is it 2? Yeah. .5:15 remaining. The Sharks find themselves on the power play. It's 4-2 now. I believe with a goal from Adriel Charette from the point, making it a 2-goal difference. Backhand, saved by Mancini. Bromwell trying to come around the backside. McKay can't get the shot off, and the North York Storm will clear it, and it will go the distance down to Maxwell. 1:35 remaining in the power play. 4:45 remaining in the third period. 4-2 Barrie Sharks. Here comes Wallace with some speed, trying to cut in and lift the puck, and it just goes past the far side post. To Dion at the point. To Meta. Back to Dion. Back to Meta. They play catch. Down to McKay. McKay changes places with Meta. Trying to shoot it in. Deflected. 1 minute gone in the power play. Meta at the point. Through traffic. Mancini somehow sees that and pounces on it. Bromwell's pushed off, but no penalty coming on that. 55 seconds remaining in the power play. 4:10 remaining in the third period.
Quite a shove in front of the net before that.
Yep.
Captain of North York.
I should have had you mic'd up for tonight, Mike. Faith?
Maybe.
Winter to the point. Back to Winter. Back to Meta at the point. Ooh, she fans on the shot. Nearly a breakaway attempt for Papadopoulos. To the point for Meta. to Dion. Back to Meta at the point. Through traffic. Hartman pushes Stewart off the puck, and the puck will come back out to the blue line. Meta decides to cut it, and she'll put an attempt in on net. Shot in by Kate Stewart, and that's a save. That stays out and comes all the way back to Mally Winter at the near side boards. Another attempt. Stewart trying to lift the puck over Mancini's glove. That's steered aside. 12 seconds remaining in the power play. Back to Meta at the point. Dion on the far side. Back to Meta. Meta down to Winter. Winter looking. Back to Meta at the point. Again through traffic, and that's steered aside. North York trying to get a handle on that puck and get it out of harm's way. Sharks doing all they can. Meta again through traffic, and Mancini's got it. Mancini just peppered with shots. She has definitely seen way more action this game than Riley Maxwell. She's made some pretty good stops tonight, too. Wallace versus France in the face-off dot. North York gets it out into neutral zone, picked up by Cosgrave, and she'll dump it down in. Back to 5-on-5. Far side, North York gets into the neutral zone. Sharks, Tegan Gloins try to backhand it in. Sharks will give it chase. Hartle for North York trying to gather it and get it out. Again, the far side. Sharks try to get it out into the slot, and it goes behind the net instead. Here's Wallace for North York. She'll send it forward, picked up by Cosgrave. Cosgrave bringing that puck in by herself, and she'll come in offside. 2:15 remaining in this contest. Still 4-2 Barrie Sharks. North York not going down without a fight. They've made some great shots in on Maxwell. In the neutral zone, Sharks try to gather that puck. North York trying to keep it out. Larman trying to work herself to the net, and that's steered aside by Ianasso. Puck behind Maxwell. Larissa Mayer finds it on the other end. She holds the line as she pinches in. She's going to drive the net with that puck. Couldn't get the shot off, steered aside. To the point. It will come to the blue line for Mayer. She'll step in and fire. Intercepted before it gets too far. Out in front again, steered aside. Mayer on that puck again. Empty net, North York. Thank you, Faith. Shot into Maxwell, and a stop with 1:22 remaining in the third period. Extra attacker on for North York, so it'll be 6-on-5. Lots of time left. Minute 22, anything can happen. Face off to the right of Maxwell. Sharks find it and will clear it out. That's on target. Is it going to get there? Oh, didn't have enough on it, or it might have gone in. Battle on the near side, far side in the North York end. France worked off the puck as she's kind of held into a headlock. McKay trying to get to the puck. North York's Olivia Letty gets into the blue line, held onto by the Sharks. Put it towards the net, but that's steered aside with a skate. DaCosta out to Taylor. Sits out in front for Larissa Mayer, and she sends it into the neutral zone. It'll come all the way down for the North York Storm. They'll fire in. Maxwell with the pad save. Another shot in, and that's intercepted before it gets too far. 25 seconds remaining in the third. Wong for North York to the near side. Puck sits in the neutral zone. Sharks trying to put it back. North York putting it towards the Sharks' end. Can't keep it down there. 5 seconds remaining. Shot in, and that's going to be an empty netter for Kate Stewart. That's her second goal of the Knight's third goal of the season, and that puts the Sharks on top 5-2 with 2.4 seconds on the clock. This will improve the Sharks' record to 7-1. And they'll look forward to Game 9 on Friday night as they welcome in the OHA Mavericks. This one ends 5-2. Again, goals coming from 2 from Kate Stewart, 1 from Adriel Charette, Sam Lormond, and Sonia Mehta. Well, Faith, I had fun with this one. Did you?
Yeah.
It's kind of a great game, eh? You should come out with me more often. I wouldn't mind more color commentary. Let's get somebody else to man the camera so you can get a microphone with me. All right. As the Sharks will shake hands with the North York Storm, I'll say good evening here from the Canlan Arenas here in North York, Ontario, and I'll be back with you on Friday night. Again, as the Sharks welcome in the OHA Mavericks. My name is Cheryl Gilroy, along with my partner tonight, Faith Gilroy. Thanks for joining the live stream, as she's waving for you. Thanks for joining the live stream, folks. We'll see you on Friday night, and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.